Have you ever noticed that when you wear a certain color, you suddenly look more pale, a little bit ill, like something is out of balance, but you don't know what? And no matter how hard you try to pull those colors off, it never seems to work out. As to when you wear other colors, everything instantly seems to pop. Your skin seems to be glowing, everything seems to look so much more better on you, and it gives you that boost of confidence. Then you are completely right, because there are definitely certain colors that will do nothing for you, as to other colors that will complement everything about you. And in this video, I'm going to help you figure out which color complements you the best by using the seasonal color theory, which is basically a tool that can help us identify colors that matches the best with our hair color, our eye color, and our skin tone. So if you're new here, my name is Jessie and I make videos on fashion, lifestyle, and luxury. So if those are the types of videos that you like, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Now let's break down this theory and talk about how it can improve your whole personal style. The seasonal color theory is broken up into three main categories, which are hue, that can either be cool or warm, value, that can either be light or dark, and chroma, which can be muted or clear. Now these are all evaluated from your eye color, your hair color, and skin tone. And by rating these factors accordingly to the categories, it will make you fall into the four main groups and their subgroups, which are named after our seasons, which are winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Now that we have that covered, let's figure out what your seasonal color is. So first up, we've got the hue. So you can either have a cool, warm, or neutral undertone. You can determine this pretty easy by holding your hand up against a white wall or a white paper. And if your skin looks a little bit more pinkish, then you might have a cool undertone. If your skin looks a little bit more yellow, then you have a warm undertone. But if your hand just almost look the same as before, it really doesn't change its color, then you might have a neutral undertone. Now, if you find this a little bit difficult, you can also use the vein test, which I find to be really easy. So if you look at your hands, you can see probably your veins running through your hands. And if your veins look a little bit more greenish, then you have a warm undertone. But if they look blue to purple, then you have a cool undertone. Now, if you seem to have a little bit of both, then you might have a neutral undertone. I do want to make a little bit of a side note here for the olive skin tones, because as being a mixed race myself, I found it really confusing in the beginning to determine whether I had a cool or warm undertone. And the reason for that is because with olive skin tone people, a lot of people confuse the overtone with the undertone. And because we have a yellowy skin tone, a lot of people just automatically assume that we have a warm undertone, which is actually incorrect. Olive skin tones are actually most of the time cool, and rarely they are neutral or warm. Now that we figured out what your undertone is, we need to focus on your natural hair and eye color to determine whether you are light or dark. And with your undertone, it divides you in one of the four main categories, which are spring, summer, winter, or autumn. If you have a cool undertone with dark hair and dark eyes, you're probably a winter. If you have a cool undertone with light hair and light eyes, you are probably a summer. If you have a warm undertone with dark eyes and dark hair, you're probably in autumn. If you have a warm undertone with light hair and light eyes, then you're probably a spring. Now you have your main season, and we just need this last step to determine your sub-season, which is defining your chroma. Now your chroma is basically how much contrast you have in your hair color, eye color, and skin tone. And it ranges from light to dark, or as you can say, muted to clear. Now we have your subgroup, which is linked to a color palette that in theory will complement all of your characteristics. For example, I have a medium olive skin tone, which gives me a neutral to cool undertone. I also have very dark brown eyes and dark brown hair with the natural tendency to have some golden highlights in them, which makes me very dark. And I find that I have a very high contrast as my skin is pretty light in contrast to the rest of my features. Now, putting all this information together, I know now that I'm a deep winter or dark winter with a tendency to dark autumn, and that is because I have that olive skin tone. And by knowing this and wearing the colors that are linked to this specific subcategory has made a huge difference. For one, I now no longer fear colors. I know now exactly which colors to buy that will complement all of my features. And secondly, it's been so much more easier to buy makeup that will complement my skin. And I definitely believe that by knowing your season color, it will be so much more easier for you to build out your wardrobe and implement colors into it, because I know that bringing in colors is oftentimes something that a lot of us fear. But by knowing your color palette, it will be easier to just pick the right colors every time that you shop. But I think the most fun part here is to play with colors from other color palettes to see if you can balance them out with your own color palette to still make them work for you. And as I said before, this is really going to help you with buying the perfect makeup that will matches but also enhances all of your natural features. So there you have it. This is the seasonal color theory in a nutshell. Let me know in the comment box down below which season you are. I'd love to know that. And if you happen to like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up because it really helps my channel to grow. And for now, I really want to thank you for sticking to the end, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!